Obama's back. Obama's back. That is the guy from 2008, 2012. He's back. First time you ever heard him talk about unions. Again, transgender, bisexual. His base is happy. But the economic message of we're going to help you out now. He moved from the economy strong. It can get better. We want to be more fair. That is the Obama that wins elections. And Republicans are now on the back foot. This is the president in full engagement mode. I haven't heard anything from Republicans. Let's see what they say, but that is Barack Obama back.
S.E. Cup, you feel on the back foot?
I don't join Van in that enthusiasm, but I will agree. You know, the criticism of Democrats leading up to the 2014 midterms was that they didn't have a cohesive economic message, and I heard one tonight. It's not one obviously I agree with, or that Republicans are going to agree with, but it was a more cohesive message. I think Wolf alluded to his comments on terror, and I'm positive those will have struck some Republicans as incredibly off-key. This is an administration that has underestimated ISIS, has said Al-Qaeda's been decimated, has had a very questionable foreign policy, and the world's a very dangerous place right now, and he seemed to take a bit of a victory lap on terror, and I think that's going to strike some Republicans as really untouched.
Jay Carney, you've listened to a lot of these presidents.
Well, I was struck by the end and the sense that he was back, not so much on the economic message, which I knew he would make, and I think he's right on, but that he returned to some of the themes that Americans first heard from him in 2004 and again in 2008 and 2012. And I got a text from a friend who's not a partisan Democrat at all, but who did vote for Obama twice, and he said, that's why I voted for him, what I heard in those last 10 minutes. Now, he was partisan in the sense that the solutions he proposed to the problem were his solution. They were progressive. But the problem is now being diagnosed in the same way by Republicans and Democrats. The economy's growing, but not everybody's sharing in the growth. We need to do something about it. So he's saying, here's my plan, and I think he's not going to want to hear what Republicans are going to offer.
Mike Rogers, what did you hear tonight?
I heard the Colorado speech when he was running for president right after his nomination, and that concerns me because one of the hallmarks of this president is he has very poor relationships in Congress. He had poor relationships with Democrats in Congress, and he had poor relationships with Republicans in Congress. And I thought this speech was an opportunity for him to step up and say, all right, we have some differences, but we have a common goal. How do we improve the middle class? Nobody is saying that's not a good idea. How he gets there, calling for more spending and more programs probably isn't going to excite Republicans. But he did it in the first three quarters of that speech in a very partisan way. And I understand what he was trying to do. He's trying to invoke all those images of 2008, as Van said. Problem is, it's not 2008. And we have 2 years left, and you have a big majority in both the House and the Senate with Republicans. I think it's a bad way to start if you actually want to accomplish it.
John King?
It's the first act in this latest round of divided government. And the first big act, you had a very significantly left-of-center speech delivered by a president to a Congress that is now much more right-of-center after the election that just happened a couple of months ago. So they are operating on very different parallel universes, if you will, right now, but it's only the first act.